Recorded Books and One Click Digital present Daniel Deronda by George Eliot. Narrated by Jill Tanner. Book 1. The Spoiled Child. Chapter 1. Men can do nothing without the make-believe of a beginning. Even science, the strict measurer, is obliged to start with a make-believe unit, and must fix on a point in the star's unceasing journey when his sidereal clock shall pretend that time is at naught. His less accurate grandmother, poetry, has always been understood to start in the middle. But on reflection, it appears that her proceeding is not very different from his. Since science, too, reckons backward as well as forward, divides his unit into billions, and with his clock finger at naught, really sets off in medias res. No retrospect will take us to the true beginning. And whether our prologue be in heaven or on earth, it is but a fraction of that all-presupposing fact with which our story sets out. Was she beautiful or not beautiful? And what was the secret of form or expression which gave the dynamic quality to her glance? Was the good or the evil genius dominant in those beams? Probably the evil. Else why was the effect that of unrest rather than of undisturbed charm? Why was the wish to look again felt as coercion and not as a longing in which the whole being consents? She who raised these questions in Daniel Deronda's mind was occupied in gambling. Not in the open air, under a southern sky, tossing coppers on a ruined wall, with rags about her limbs, but in one of those splendid resorts which the enlightenment of ages has prepared for the same species of pleasure at a heavy cost of gilt mouldings, dark-toned colour and chubby nudities, all correspondingly heavy, forming a suitable condenser for human breath belonging in great part to the highest fashion, and not easily procurable, to be breathed in elsewhere in the like proportion, at least by persons of little fashion. It was near 4 o'clock on a September day, so that the atmosphere was well brewed to a visible haze. There was deep stillness, broken only by a light rattle, a light chink, a small sweeping sound, and an occasional monotone in French, such as might be expected to issue from an ingeniously constructed automaton. Round 2 long tables were gathered 2 serried crowds of human beings, all save one having their faces and attention bent on the tables. The one exception was a melancholy little boy, with his knees and calves simply in their natural clothing of epidermis, but for the rest of his person in a fancy dress. He alone had his face turned toward the doorway, and fixing on it the blank gaze of a bedizened child stationed as a masquerading advertisement on the platform of an itinerant show, stood close behind a lady deeply engaged at the roulette table. About this table 50 or 60 persons were assembled, many in the outer rows, where there was occasionally a deposit of newcomers, being mere spectators, only that one of them, usually a woman, might now and then be observed putting down a 5 franc with a simpering air, just to see what the passion of gambling really was. Those who were taking their pleasure at a higher strength and were absorbed in play showed very distant varieties of European type, Livonian and Spanish, Greco-Italian and miscellaneous German, English aristocratic and English plebeian. Here certainly was a striking admission of human equality. The white bejewelled fingers of an English countess were very near touching a bony, yellow, crab-like hand, stretching a bared wrist to clutch a heap of coin, a hand easy to sort with a square, gaunt face, deep-set eyes.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.